Today we're going to talk about social work, and I'm just going to give you a brief introduction of it. The first thing I want to say is about the relationship to sociology. Now, sociology and social work are directly related in that they both focus on society and the social roles of the individual in society and the impact of society on the individual. But social work is much more focused on the person and the interaction in society. Taking from the definition by the International Federation of Social Workers, social work is focused on hands-on social change and problem solving in human relationships, and it empowers and liberates people to enhance well-being and help them reach their full potential. What does that mean? Basically, social work helps troubled people live richer, fuller lives, as full as it can be. Now, the roots of social work really began centuries and centuries ago, back in ancient times. The first recorded history of organized social work was in the third century with the Roman Empire, and they had formed charity organizations such as poorhouses and hospitals and other service organizations like that. Now, the roots of modern social work really began in the 19th century, and at that time many of the service organizations were religious in nature, and they provided a lot of religious interventions. At that point, God was seen as the purpose and the cause of most of life events, so any sort of trouble that people came across, the solution would of course be to turn to God and prayer and hope for some relief. And at that time, the social service organizations focused on prayer and direct relief, which means that if a person needed money, you gave them money. If they needed a place to stay, you gave them a place to stay. This is one approach to providing social services. Another approach is to give assistance rather than giving directly. So, for example, if someone needs money, you help them get a job. If they need a place to stay, you help them find a place to stay. Things like that. But getting back to the roots of modern social work. In the 19th century, later in the 19th century, the Industrial Revolution happened, and at this point there was dramatic changes in lifestyle. There was huge advancements in technology. There was rapid urbanization, people moving to the cities to get jobs. And this led to a variety of social problems such as poverty, diseases, mental disorders, prostitution, etc. So, of course, social services needed to provide services to help alleviate these problems. And at that point, a change happened in social work. Religion was still very important, but now, because of the advancements in science and technology, people saw that science and technology could also greatly affect society. So it led to more of a secular humanistic approach to social work, and it's not directly tied to religion. It's still somewhat spiritual, but it looks at a person's whole values and belief systems, and not strictly religion. Along the same time, the mother of social work, a woman by the name of Jane Addams, she was a community organizer, and she organized volunteers and raised funds to build Hull House in Chicago. And she built this house based on a house that she'd seen in London on a trip over there. And she built this house to provide assistance to immigrant families. And from this house that provided assistance to immigrants, after 2 years, she was providing assistance to 2,000 families. So it was rapid growth. She was a fantastic organizer, and this happened at a time when there was mass migration in the 19th century. So many people were coming to the United States, and settlement houses was the foundation for regional and national social work in the United States. And so it was basically from there that our social service organizations started. Now today, social work is both public and private. There are some of the major government organizations include the Department of Health and Human Services, the Social Security Administration, Child and Family Services, private organizations such as the Red Cross, the Cancer Alliance, many others. They provide a huge variety of programs that range from person-focused to changes in social policy, and they address issues such as food, clothing, shelter, equal rights, health care, social justice, etc. So basically, there it is, an introduction to social work in the United States.